Joining me are John Keller of WBZ, Adam Riley of WGBH News, Dan Kennedy of Northeastern University, and Callie Crossley of WGBH News. This week, the second shoe dropped in the infamous Deflategate story, and it was bad news all around for Patriots quarterback Tom Brady in particular, for his adoring fans, and yep, even for the media. The much-anticipated Wells report landed with a thud this week, concluding that it was more probable than not that two Patriots equipment guys and quarterback Tom Brady had deliberately deflated balls before the AFC Championship game in January, leading to this collective reaction. While ESPN's Skip Bayless seemed genuinely pained, he didn't mince words.
Tom Brady's four-ring legacy has been tainted.
And that's the sense even in the local press, where Tom has long enjoyed the hometown advantage. The Boston Herald's Steve Buckley says Deflategate is now a permanent part of Tom Brady's story.
The fact of the matter is that Tom Brady and the Patriots and Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick can, from now to the end of time, proclaim the quarterback's innocence. But there's enough in the report for people to latch onto, and it is a part of his record.
Is there anything he could do, anything, to convince you, other sports writers, all of his sports fans, that he had nothing to do with this?
If the two gentlemen in question were to come forward and completely say this was a rogue activity, they acted on their own, I have a hard time saying this. I'm grasping for some measure of solace for Tom Brady, but if they could come forward and say, well, he always said he wanted the footballs at this, so we took it upon ourselves and maybe we overdid it, and poor Tom has no knowledge of this.
And Brady has done nothing to convince anyone of his innocence. At an event at Salem State University last night, he told sportscaster Jim Gray he's still digesting the Wells report.
I don't have really any reaction, Jim.
Does anyone believe that? Meanwhile, the Deflategate fallout is making headlines nationally, and the media's sycophantic approach to all things Brady is likely to change dramatically. Do you think the media at large will be tougher on Brady going forward?
Yes.
In certain quarters, for sure. You know, I was kind of one of the last ones to be pulled over onto the side. I was listening to Jim Gray last night at the Salem State, and he was in a tough position because this was really, you know, a celebratory panel, and he had to ask a few questions, I should say. But when Brady said he had no reaction, then that's just not credible. That just defies logic, and everybody would have a reaction. You know, he's got to be devastated, and that's a lie. And if he can lie, make a bald-faced lie like that, then I have to say I've been pulled over onto the other side. But I mean, you know, John, we've talked about this, that the sports media in particular is so quick to rush to judgment and take sides and politicize these kinds of things. But maybe this time it's fair?
Well, it's fair to some extent. It's also laughable, in the sense that there's zero perspective being applied here. I mean, I get it. Tom Brady's just about the biggest celebrity this town or the NFL has, and the Patriots are a premier franchise, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But his legacy is tarnished. Steve Buckley talked about how this cheating or lying will lead his obit. Are you kidding me? I love Steve Buckley. He's terrific. But did Tom Brady beat Giselle? I must have missed that. Did he whack one of those adorable kids of his with a stick? I guess I missed that too. Did he take a bribe? Did he shave points? I mean, this is way down the pecking order. So the outsized reaction just, I think, makes a sham of the whole exchange.
But I don't think anyone's suggesting that what he did is sort of morally equivalent to Ray Rice smacking his girlfriend in the face, or was it his wife? I can't remember.
Now wife.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's saying that he is a worse human because he may have requested balls that were a little on the soft side. They're just saying that this notion that he's maybe the greatest quarterback to ever play the game is now a little suspect, given that he may have pushed the rules a little bit. That's my take.
They're not saying it's a little suspect.
No.
Terms like tarnished,
but
tainted.
You got to grant me that they're also not saying he's as bad a man as Ray Rice.
There are voices calling for a year's suspension for him. Ray Rice was originally given, what, 2 games by the NFL?
Okay.
Well, certainly we can't accuse the local media of homerism.
Not this time.
Steve Buckley wrote a very tough piece in the Herald. Dan Shaughnessy wrote a very tough piece in the Globe, and it certainly does not look good for Tom Brady. One of the things that strikes me about this that's so interesting, and the media have really bought into this, is the cultural difference between football and baseball. When the pitcher gets caught scuffing the ball, everybody laughs and they say, well, now we know why the ball dropped 2 feet on that batter, don't we? This is just all so serious. And this is a sport that is plagued with domestic violence problems, with concussion problems, and this is what everybody's focusing on.
And if I may, a sport replete with cheating. Every time a penalty flag is thrown, it's cheating that's been caught. Tripping, grabbing, clutching. Imagine what goes on at the bottom of those scrums when there's a loose ball. And half the time they get away with it, so please, ease off on the over-the-top self-righteousness. That's all I'm asking for.
I think when somebody has been portrayed, to your original point, as being, then all he has to do is spit his gum out on the sidewalk and it's going to be bad. So, you know, sports, I could care, and I could really just care about this. So I'll quote Michael Strahan, Hall of Famer, Giants, and he said, why do they have to do this? They're a good team. So you know what that says to me? Everybody believes it. And that, in my estimation, then really is a taint on him because he can never overcome that. It's not how big the offense is. It's that he had this kind of appeal and kind of general public response, and now he doesn't. And that will stay with him.
So he goes from walking on water to drowning. I think that's a little bit of a...
Maybe, but
he's got to deal with this.
You know, Strahan says, you know, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. They're too good of a team. Okay.
Well, Brady did say that he would deal with it soon, and I hope he does. And I have to say, I agree with Adam that the real issue here is Brady's in this unique position. Is he the greatest quarterback of all time? And I think that's the reason this seems like such a bigger issue than it would with a less accomplished player.
It's worth remembering, by the way, I don't think the media has always been sycophantic with Brady. Remember when they started out, what were they, 2-2 last season when they won?
That was 100 years ago.
Bring on Garoppolo.
Right, exactly.
I know, that was the Kansas game,
Right, so they've been happy to beat him up, if it looks like, maybe because he is so accomplished and seemingly so perfect.
They backed right off of that, though, because the next game they won, and that was it. Because I recall that a couple times they'd made. But this is different. This is something this is not about his game. It's not about his ability. It's about something he did, and I do believe that it's going to follow him forever. Unless he comes out, I don't know, even if he just came out and admitted it, would that be better? I don't know.